All right. Hello everyone. My name is Dev, and I work as a developer relation engineer at Storyblok. So in this video, what I thought we should do, we're going to build a Storyblok Astro project from scratch. There will be everything will be empty. There will be like no template or anything, and then from there we are going to deploy the final output to the production. I mean, in deploy in Parcel, and then we will also see the production and preview environment, how you set this up, and what are the some best practices there is. Plus, few days ago, Storyblok introduced live preview, so we are going to also explore that as well. So without wasting time, let's just open the VS Code, or if you are using some other corridor, that's also fine as well. So let me go there in my GitHub, in my directory where I wanted to create this, and I'm just going to running the Astro create project command. That's very nothing else, and this one is taking a little bit time. Yep, I just have to now name it. So just let's call it Astro block live demo, something like that, or live live preview, let's say, or live deployment, or you can say, let's say, demo website. Yeah, that's fine. Astro Storyblok demo website. I think that's a good enough name. Now this is going to be empty. Yes, I do want TypeScript. You could say no, or like whatever, but strict no. I just want to do the relaxed because it's not a TypeScript one. Install dependency, yes please. Git, yes, later, because we are going to deploy it to production, so we do need a GitHub repository. So while it's trying to copy all of that and generating, let's talk about the Storyblok part. So I have an account, and if you don't have an account, just go create one, and I just logged in, and this is my section. I have quite a few spaces. I just hit them, but in your case, if it's empty, that's also fine. And I'm just going to create an empty space, right? So let's call it. I'm going to just go with community plan. That's absolutely fine. Let's call it demo website, or if you wanted to keep the same name, or what name we gave it, uh, let's just say as to Storyblok demo website, or something like or like, let's just say website. Yeah, that's fine. Server location, this should be based on where you are currently, but typically for a website, it technically does not matter, to be honest, but I'm just going to go with Europe. And this is just creates a space, and the quickly overview, this is the dashboard where you will get the info about Storyblok page. This is the content section where you will create your pages and a lot of that. The idea, this is some new features. This is basically your, let's sort of like Google Docs, sort of uh, text editor where you get AI and all of that, and later you can easily import those in your story. So it's a good thing, but like it's not, it's a paid to one. So yeah, I mean, it's a beta one. I can technically, okay, I can technically use it. So yeah, so you can like, yeah, like this, and then yeah, uh, so there is a like AI option, I think, or like, yeah, that's also needs some agreement or something. Yeah, okay. Storyblok and Astro. Let's see what it generates. Yeah, Storyblok Astro, like dynamic duo for building websites. Yeah, so this is working. So we are getting sidetracked. Next we have block library section. then assets, and then settings, then some app directory. Those are the options. But let us first delete this. I just don't want any of this. And for block library, we have all of this. I also don't like any of this. I'm going to delete it. But before any of this, let me just create a empty block. There is like nothing, because in the settings we do have like a default content type set to page. Otherwise that's going to create a error. So what I'm going to do, select everything other than the empty one and delete. So theoretically now it's like almost empty. There is like nothing here at all. So let's go back to the code part again. I think this is done. Let me just open that folder, that like this one. Yeah. And also I'm going to open the so here I have also opened the GitHub. I just wanted to add this local repository. The path would be this one. All right. Create Astro app. That's the initially we ran. So I just move it, and yeah, new terminal, and let's just say how what we get with this. I'm just going to run npm run dev. That's it. This is going to take a second or so. Okay, now you can say we get the Astro one because that's like the cleanest. This is the only thing that we have technically here. So yeah, that's it. So before we do any of this, anything else, we need to add tailwind. Yeah, because how else we can add style. So let's try to add tailwind. It's like this command. What I'm going to do, I'm going to let's just make it full screen. I'm just going to run this command in the right hand side, and then also let's do something about this. Let's create a folder called components, and here you can see by default everything is like one file, but we will definitely have a layout dot astro. And what we are going to do, just copy this and paste it here, and instead of this we are going to use slot. All right, and next what we can do here is basically instead of this we are going to have the layout import, and then basically the same thing is going to happen. Okay, here let's enter y to install it. So basically this is just like we're just moving things in a separately. Later if you wanted to modify anything, add header and footer and all of that, so that should be done here, and then everywhere it should reflect. That's the idea. Yeah. Yes, let's just add yes, and it will technically it's automatically adds everything. And if you just go to the website, you will see that it's like now much better. So let me prove this. Add class name, let's say text for Excel, and font to be bold. Now if I just minimize this, you'll see okay, this is working. So that's fine, tailwind is added, that's great. Now before we do anything, connect and all of that, if we wanted to use Storyblok with Astro or like any typically any framework, we have to run the local the site on HTTPS. So for that, I we we have this plugin. I think that's like, this is a plugin that we should add. So I'm going to do this npm install, and then we take a look. Yeah, so this is the, but this is going to be fit one. So in the bit we need to add all of this. Okay, fine. So it's installed. Let's just go here in astro config. Here what I'm going to do, and then we get to see it. So yeah, so that this is fine. And let's import this. It's not giving the hint, so let's just import it like this. So technically this should make the site run in HTTPS mode if I done everything like correctly. I think so. Let's just let me just rerun it and let's see what's happening. Okay, you can see this is opening on HTTPS. So yeah, so this is running on HTTPS. Perfect. So we also what we did so far, we added tailwind and then added the mcart one. By the way, this is we are adding this on the HTTPS, but this is only for locally, right? So how about we create an environment variable, we are going to name it Storyblok local, and let's say this is going to be yes. And how do I read this variable here? I think Astro now have a better way. So environment variables, if you do, yeah, we can do something like this. All we have to do is just get the name here, and let's name it const is local. Yes. So what I'm going to do, conditionally add this section here. So how do we do that? That's what I'm going to do. Add this if is local, and then all of this going to go within that. So just to show what it did, so let's say we have the Storyblok local, yes. Then if I do npm run dev, you'll see it's running on HTTPS. Then this. Now let's say I put any other value here, let's say no, for example, or any other value, because we are only checking yes. So other than if you don't add a yes and add anything else, that's all going to set to false. So you don't have to add no. So you'll see now it's running on HTTP. Because when you are deploying it, it should not be deflecting with HTTPS and all of that, because your let's say Parcel or Netlify, that's going to handle all of that. So it's strictly for this. I think this is making sense, and we are all good to go next, right? So let's make a commit now. Tailwind and local SSL added. So let's just add the commit here. All right. So what next should we do? Let's try to connect it with I don't know. Yeah, here. So what I'm going to do, install this SDK. This is going to just take a second, and if you just read the documentation, what we have to do is like do it like this. So let's go to the config, and here let's add a comma and edit access token. So we all know in order to add access token, the best place is the environment variable. So let's say Storyblok access token. But if you're wondering why Storyblok local or anything, like you can name it running locally. You can even do that as well, and it's fine. It's the name that you are just giving. So let me just show you it like that. And also now I'm going to receive this, and that's going to be passed here. And where do I get this token? Let's minimize this. And by the way, yeah, go to the project. This is my project. Go to settings, access tokens. This is where I would get it. If I don't have one, or if I just deleted one, let's say, you can just always go preview, let's say preview, and then generate one, and then just copy it like that. So this is the token that we get. We can even like run it again, and here it's saying Storyblok is not defined. That's because we also have to import it like this. So let's just import it, and let's run it. Okay, we added a Storyblok here and this, but so far there is like nothing going to happen. Also, let's just copy this and try to go here, and then because we deleted everything, so let's now talk about how do I design things in here, so in Storyblok. So in block library, this is empty one, just a placeholder, so we are going to delete this shortly, but let's talk about how this works. So in the block library, where here you will design your, let's say for example we are talking about websites, and let's say we have a website with 4 pages for marketing pages, let's say, and then we have, let's say, 100 articles. So if that's our website, then we have the two type of pages, like one page, one called the page marketing page, you can call it like, or page default page, and another one is like the blog. So that's the typical that's what we call content type thing. And then we have individual blocks, let's say hero section, footer, header, and then say there's a gallery, let's say, testimonial, uh, let's say some section with like left side image and right hand side you have some text. So that's a different section as well. So those would be your component or blocks. So in this case, we are going to create a page, so we can name it default page. By the way, this is like prepared way. If you can just try some other formatting as well, but I feel like if you just name it like all small case and underscore, and then the names will be all in uppercase. So I think this is like good, but you don't have to do it like this. By the by default, it's automatically creates a page one. I deleted that and I named it default page. You could name it marketing page or whatever that suits you. The default page sounds much clear. Okay, and we're not going to create anything, any field or any of other things for now. Let's keep it like this. And now let's go to the settings and then change it to default, and then let's come back here and delete it. Now we're not going to create anything else. Let's go to the home page and like the pages section, and let's try to create a new story. So this is going to, we're going to call it home, and this is the default page, fine. So by default there is like nothing to show and nothing here. We're just getting this default screen. So in order to change this and see our website, you just click here, or you can quickly also go to the settings here as well. So if I click on these settings and then go to the let's say visual editor section, and here we can add the sorry, so what is the endpoint we have? So this is the URL, so we'll add this URL here. Instead of this, we're going to add it here. Now if we go to the home page again, we'll see again we are seeing something other than that default screen, but we are seeing the 404. Why is that? Let's just if you take a look at here, it says your domain name / home, because that is our actually the page that we created is that's called home. But we want this one to be treated as like the root of the page, so we can go to the config and then change it to real path to be /. Now you'll see this is being treated as the root of the page, the home page by default you get. Okay, this is good. So far we have connected, this is the our page is showing up, but there is like nothing to show here. So what to do here? So let's try to define the structure of our pages. So our page will be very fluid or dynamic. Let's say we can like have different section here. So what I'm going to do, let's try to design things here. So we'll have a body of the our page will be able to take different components within this. So let's say I don't know, we can name it body literally, and then this is going to be a special field called blocks, because this is the field that gives you the ability to select different blocks that or different components that we are going to design here in the future. So let's, but if you want any other strict values, like for example let's say title, or let's say I don't know, yeah, if you want if you have the option let's say title, you can add it, and let's reorder this and hit save. So now we have this, let's say home page, there is like nothing to add for now, but this is the data that we have. So how do we get this data? And let's say at least for now we wanted to show this title instead of this astro thing here. How do we go about and do that? Okay, let's go back to the code section again. Okay, we added the access token, and now in the index page we have to paste the story or like the data from. So here by default, you know that if you are familiar with Storyblok, so the way we paste story is like this, but we wanted to explore also the live preview feature that Storyblok provides. So it's pretty similar to that, but it's just a different kind of API. So let me just quickly copy that thing, and here instead of, let me just remove this all of these comments. By default this is not on, this one is going to, okay, this one is going to be home, because that's the only one that we are using for now, because it's like index.astro, so home is the only one. And then here let's just say block would be story dot content. Yeah, that's the typical setup that we usually have. And by the way, it's showing some error, and that's because we also have to add few of the section. Live preview, yes, oh sorry, true. And then we have bridge, or you can just leave the live preview to true, that's the only thing, to be honest, you need. And then there is also another option that I would like to enable fallback component that I also want it to be true. And then components, for now let's just keep it empty like this. Okay, for some reason it crashed, which is fine. We can just rerun it and then see if this still keeps happening. Or okay, also another thing, in order to do this we also have to run the project in SSR mode. That's also mentioned here. You do have to like set the output to be server side. Okay, let's do that. Okay, now it's all running. If I just go here, okay, technically it's hooked up and everything is working. At least we see something. We still see the Astro thing, but now we see a interesting thing called component could not be found. Default block page is not configured correctly. So it's asking. That's true, because like we named this. If you come here, so we named this default page, or like the content type is default page, but like there is like in the code there is like no mention of this. So we have to also define in our code that okay, we have something that's called default page, and that's, and how do I if you receive something like default page, handle it like this. So let's create a folder. Or so by the way, you can create a folder. That's also actually best practice. You can create a Storyblok folder and put it there, but you can even create it within this here as well. So let me but for this tutorial, let me just create a folder. Let's call it Storyblok, and here I'm going to call it default page. You can name it anything, but like in order to be related to so the name should be so here for now let's just say this is going to just say h1 hello world. And what I'm going to do here, come here and then say okay, if you are looking for default page, because that's the name we gave it, then try to go here Storyblok. So the by default it points to the source folder. So source slash Storyblok slash default page. Whether if you had this one in the components folder, it would have been components slash default page. Hopefully that's making sense. Now you will see it shows hello world. Now I no longer see that that missing component thing. So this is actually how you are connecting everything, and each of these page they receive const block is equal to astro dot props. And if I just do this, you'll see this is the information I received the title, and then the body. For now it's nothing, but that's how you get. So let me just quickly I think that now this is fine. Going forward I'll try to do it faster, but yeah. So let's move it like this, and then probably have it like block dot title. That's the name we gave. And yeah, and then here we can just remove this. We actually don't need that. So now you will see if we come here, it says home page. By the way, let's say if you just start typing, you can see that's also repeating. So live reading is now available. If I just add a, you can see that that's appearing now. Let's just say home page. Okay, it's fine. Now the for the design of our website. So quickly we are going to create two things. So we are going to create a hero section and then some sort of um, about a section with a image, and then the and let's say image and text right hand and left hand side. That's the two component that we are going to create, because this is just a tutorial and not fancy design thing. So let's call it hero section, and this one going to be a nestable block, because that's going to be reusable, and then I wanted it's a small part. I think that I made this clear, and the naming should be, like I said, this should be hero section like this, and create one. So the hero section will have a few options. Let's say it will have a title, that's going to be a text, a smaller one, and then next we have a link to go somewhere. So let's say that's going to be a link. Next, say we are also going to provide a, okay, let's add a background color of this so for this I'm going to use a plugin, because Storyblok do gives you a plugin that's lets you do all of this pretty easily, but I have to first install that plugin. So let me go to the app directory, and yeah, color palette. Okay, so this is the name, Storyblok palette. Let's install it. Go to block library now, hero section, plugin, name, Storyblok palette. Okay, now let's assign it, save it. Yeah, another component that we are going to have that I told is like, let's say I don't know, um, what name should we give this one I don't know, let's say text section. Let's say text image section. Yeah, text image section, that's fine. I think it's going to be nextable section. So this one going to have quite a few field, let's say order, let's say reverse, so no, let's say image, by the way, and that's going to be a asset one, and on asset it's only going to be image. By the way, there is like quite a lot of options like required and all of that, but that I believe you guys can take a look at that on your own, and that's fine. And then on the right hand left hand side it will be going to be image, and then on the right hand side this is going to be I don't know, a title. And by the way, you can group things in a different way, but all I'm just going to do is like put everything in one place, and then let's say a description. You can use rich text and a lot of that, but for this I'm just going to go with text area. And then for example, you could have left on the left hand side, we could have it like the image, and right hand side the title and text, but we should also want in some scenario that this would be reverse. So for example, then we can repeat that section. So let's say reverse would be, this is going to be a boolean, and there should be an option called boolean. Okay, I can't read it, or like, yeah, this is the boolean one. Okay, fine. Okay, this is fine. Let's just say hit save. So this is the two sections that we designed. Uh, let's just say, and now let's go to the content. In the home page you're going to add two of this section, hero section. This is going to have I don't know, title, let's call it Astro plus Storyblok, and the link, let's just link homepage for now. Background color, this one is not working, I don't know why. Let's just say there is another one, native color picker, that's also a acceptable one. Let's just fix that. And let me close it. Okay, we can pick a color, let's just say, yeah, this one. And next, let's say we wanted to add a text image section for the image, and then let's say about Astro is awesome. And for the image, I don't know, let's just go for Astro image. Astro.js image, yeah, let's just save this one, copy image, and then shortly. This doesn't work. Yeah, and we will have another section called Storyblok image. So let's just say Storyblok image, and that's yeah, let's just go with this one, and we are going to, yeah. But it's always good practice to like name things properly, so it's not only for but yeah, it's really nothing that important, but yeah, that's the thing. But this came as a web page, so I don't know if that's going to work or not, but yeah, that's fine. And we're also going to create another section that's just repeat it. This one, let's say about Storyblok is as the best CMS. You can try something else, but yeah, that's, I'd be a little bit biased, but yeah, other than that. And here the order would be reversed, let's say. That's the thing. Okay, now how all of this works. So if I just go here in the body, now you'll see body have quite a lot of information in here, default page. So what typically we'll do here is like, if you take a look at the body is actually a individual array of items, and that's a component as well. So what we can do is like, now here you can say block dot body dot map, then you can say you can name it block again, but like let's say item, or like whatever component. And then we are going to do the same thing that we did here. We're just going to repeat the same component that we have over there. So it's going to be like this, and then this, but here instead of this we are just going to pass the component, whatever name we gave it. Okay, this is, yeah, just by doing this, if you go back to the website, you'll see now it started giving us the same error, like there is like no hero section, there is like no image text section, like that. So let's quickly go and try to copy like build this, and let me just remove the curve thing like this. And I actually don't want to add that h1 here. Maybe we can do something later with that h1. So probably in the hero meta title we can use it like that. but for now let's say this works. And now let's speed this up and then try to create some of the components. Let's say hero section, and like I said, I'm not going to focus on too much on the what it's called too much on the styling, but yeah, let's call it section. And we know for a fact that, let's say we don't know for a fact what, I mean, we can take a look at the structure, or you can console log here, or you can do what you can do. You can just go here and open a draft JSON, and you will see the structure of your this hero section. So for example, I know I received a title, so here it will be h1 block dot title. And then if I take a look at here, the bg color is like this, and then the accent. So okay, let me just first try to build this like this. Let's just make it a little bit smaller, and in here let's just call this, okay, you can see now I'm getting that. So let's just quickly try to style this up. So let's say plus minimum height, let's say, I don't know, minimum height screen, let's say bg red 500, text white, maybe not screen. I don't want it to like all the other things. I also wanted to see all of those as well. So let's say maybe uh, 500 pixel is more than enough, I think. Yeah, I think that's fine. Now let's say we have a container. Within that we have this, we call it text item center, justify center, and here it's like flex, and yeah, this is going to be with full, I believe. Okay, but I think it's like a little bit weird. It's looking okay. So because we use the container class, so that's a tailwind thing. So I also have to say mx auto. I believe that will fix it. Now let's add some style here. Text, I don't know, 7XL font black. Yeah, maybe underline. Oh, not underline. That looks terrible. Now let's just add a link section. Contact us. Okay, and then in that case, let's make it text poll. So that will be like this, and then probably add a margin button of 8 here. And for the button, let's try to add border rounded full, probably p2 px8. Yeah, and probably if you want, like maybe over bg white, and then over text gray, I don't know, 900. Yeah, so let's say that's our but here instead of this, if you remember, the color going to come dynamically. So let's say style, we're going to add that because that's a hex value, so it's best if we add it like this. So let's say background would be like block dot what's the name that we gave here, like we can read it like this: block dot bg color dot color. Whether you can take a look that this is the name block dot bg color dot color. That's the name we gave it. And for this is going to be block dot action dot, let's just copy this cast URL. And by the way, this is like showing you the only the slug, there is like no forward slash. So if you had like multiple folder nested, it adds slashes from the first slash is like omitted, so that's why typically the most so for the root pages this is going to work, but it's always best to just add it like this. You could have a like backticks and then but that this is also fine. So now if we just take a look, we'll see this is working from here, and then here it's also working. I can also, another thing missing, one small thing is like here we also, if we review it, there is one thing that we could add that would make the Storyblok reading experience much more better. That's this one. We could pass this and then we can import it from Storyblok just like this. It's fine. Now if I do that, what will happen, I don't know. You can see like currently we are in the right hand side, we have like this. Now if I just click here, you'll see that section is opened up now. So that's the beauty of it. Now if I just click on outside, nothing happens because we also forget to add this on the default page. So let me add it here as well, and let's just open import it here as well. So just by doing that, if I click here, it goes to the home page. If I click here, it will go to that particular section. So wherever you have that, there is like a little bit of white dotted lines. You can I don't know, because of the colors and all of that you can't see, but like that's helps you navigate. Now we only have this thing left. So for now, let me quickly go and let's call it text image section and copy it, paste it, rename, add it like this. This is going to error because like it does not match any of the data that we are saying that we are receiving, which is fine. We're going to quickly match all the data. So this is our section, and technically what we'll have, let's remove all of that. So we'll have two div, one div with the image that's going to have so it's going to be like block dot image dot file name, and then this one is going to be alt, and then in the other hand side like we'll have a h2 that says block dot title, and then I don't know, p that says block dot description. I think that's the only information that we have technically. So it's working, but yeah, no, not all the for these I would suggest you to file name, then obviously add a plus sign and then /m. Just by doing that, your images are now WebP. You can read more about in the Astro document, I mean like Storyblok documentation, but this is like and I would also say add a class name here, aspect I don't know, aspect square. Here I could say let's now yeah, that's fine. Let's just try to add some class name here. So let's call it flex. Here's gap 8, maybe py 8, and container mx auto. So yeah, that's the thing that we added the flex, and then here we would say the both of the width will be plus width would be half. So then this is like I don't know, this is like full, half and half, and let's just remove this, and this is the images that we have. Let's just say here this will be a little bit bigger, class name text for Excel, and then the font would be bold, and maybe margin button of 2 or something. Okay, this is good, but we also have to talk about the here we can conditionally add, let's say, order 1, or let's say I think it was like order last or something. Yeah, so if you do that, so like if the value is like if reverse is true, here we can add it like that. So here now it will be a dynamic one, and we can call it like if block dot, what is the name, reverse. If block dot reverse is true, then order first, otherwise it's, yeah, that's the thing. So now if I just go back and take a look at the site, one is like this, one is like this, and let's go back here. Yeah, okay, and let's also try to everything is looks fine. So if I click on here, that section opens up, and I could click it like this will change. You can see that's fine. If I click here, this opens up. How are you liking the video so far? Okay, and you can see like I can type, and that's also automatically shows up. Okay, I think like that's fine. So far we have achieved quite a bit. Like I can even like drag and drop like this in the top, and you will see that it's working live. So this is as a design point of view, this is all of our sites. And but how about we talk about the deployment and all of that. But before with that, instead of this, how about we talk about because like currently we have only one page, and let's try to duplicate this and create a page called about, because at least we have like 2 pages, because no real website have one, right? So then we'll also see few of the problems that we have the now when we are going to deploy, but then we can also see how to solve this. So if I click on this, you will see it's 404, because like there is like only one page. So in order to fix this, all I have to do is like just let's just remove this, rename this to catch all route, and here I'm just going to get the slug, and this is going to be a JavaScript logic here. Let's add it. If slug slug, or let's say um, if I just do that, does it work? Okay, it works. And let's say about page. Okay, and okay, this is works. And if I just go to the home page, that's also works. Wonderful. So now we have 2 pages at least, and this all of this works. Now we need to talk about deployment, and before that, let's see how many places we added the console log. Okay, there is none, so maybe I can just make it full screen and let this, and then okay, now let's talk about the deployment strategy and how we can do that. For example, one thing we can notice is that now we are just using it like this, the draft version, but in production it should be published version, right? And then the in the development it should be draft, or like in the preview environment it should be draft. So how do we calculate all of that? So let's also create a variable, environment variable, that's called Storyblok is preview. By the way, again, the name could be anything. And this one, let's first go to the config, and then we are also going to get this. So let's say age preview. So if it's if it's preview, then only enable the live preview, and then enable the enable fallback content, otherwise not. That's one thing. And now let's also, we need to use it over there as well here. And so let's, before we do any of that, let's just probably create a utility function, because this could be used in multiple places. So maybe utils.ts export const age preview is equal to, I don't know, that's going to be import meta dot input dot, and then whatever name that you gave here, so that may be Storyblok is preview. So if this is equal to yes, then only it's going to be return this, otherwise yeah. So what I'm going to do here is, like, if it is preview is true, then draft, or it's going to be published. Let's try to see import it. Yeah. Also another thing, you probably, so when we are publishing it, and then this is fine. Okay, we are going to come back to this. So far in theory, the logic is done. We do have like 2 different sort of environment that could run in theory from the same code base, but we do have a few things left. So for example, where do we want to deploy this? And before we deploy any of this, we have not published any of these stories, so the production will break. So at least let's publish all of this once, so then we do have like both of those versions. So let's we're going to try Varsal, because this is where we're going to deploy, and let's try Varsal. And I'm going to, okay, this is the simple one, npx astro add Varsal. So let's just do it like this, and this is going to do a few things. It's going to add a few packages, and then it's automatically so in the latest version of Varsal, it's I mean, it's fine, you can, whatever version you are using, it's like, you can see the documentation, to be honest. So by the way, technically you don't actually have to add anything if you are just using Static mode, you can just deploy it to Vercel without adding anything, but then it's fine. But typically here, in order to deploy there is like two options, so we have to think about the preview one and then the production one. So typically with Vercel, you may be interested in a static site, which is fine, you can also do that. So then conditionally you just have to do it like this, like add this to conditionally like this. If it's production, then don't add up any of these, otherwise add this. But what I think personally the best way to do this, or like better way to do this is, let's deploy both in SSR mode, but the production one with a heavier cache. Because in any practically in any real world website, you would probably have, let's say, I don't know, hundreds, thousands of pages, and so it does not make sense that you always build your whole site. Or nowadays you would probably want the some of the like you have contact us from, so you would probably want to send email and all of that. So static is not, it could be, it's fine, you can definitely do that with the same setup, but I think SSR with a heavier cache is much better for Astro, for if you're talking about deployment. But the same logic that I'm doing for this, it's going to apply for in your case as well. But how do we do that? So if it's preview, so there is few things that I wanted to do. So the everywhere it will be server, but here okay, the adapter would be Vercel as well. Okay, but then okay, so in Vercel you see that there is a way to add ISR. So like, so the in mini sense it just says that if I just add it, so technically if I just add it, so what it says like that this website every page going to be cached for at least 1 hour, 1 day, and then it's going to revalidate. So if you have a like high traffic, then you can like set it for 1 day, but for this test purpose I'm going to set it to 60 minutes, 60 seconds, so I can show you that the draft and the production was working. But even this is not going to work. So if it's preview, then I don't want this catch, otherwise I do want this. So I think this is like fairly simple. So if it's preview, then don't add the caching mechanism, otherwise add the caching mechanism here. So this is what I would do. Okay, so all works here, and then I have the websites and all of that. Now it's just let's call it ready for deploy, and let's push it as well. Actually, this is not private code, and I'm going to add this link in the, so you can definitely visit this, and I'm just going to publish the code. So far I think this is making sense. So this is going to be one repository, but like there is like few things that we wanted to control via environment variables. That's going to be helpful when we are going to deploy this on two places. So now here, let's go to Vercel and then try to create a project. I'm going to get the just now what I did, and this one, the Astro Storyblok demo website. I'm going to name it production. In the end, just to make sure that this gives you a differentiate between the production and preview. And so this is the going to be production one. For the environment variables, we have to add excuse me, this one, but I'm not going to add the same key, because technically you could add this and that's going to be, oh, that's all fine, but what you can do technically is like go to the settings and create another access token that's only going to be public, and then say production, generate. So this one, this access key can only read the published data, nothing else. Add this. And another technically, I for the production one, I do not have to add any of the other variables, because all of these Storyblok is preview running locally, those are all eventually going to return false, and in production we want them false eventually. But just for sake of this, I'm just going to say no, and I'm going to set deploy. This is fine. And next, here as well. So this is just working on this, and let's create a new one. This is going to be the same website. Here I'm going to say preview, but here the environment variable will be interesting. So we are going to add Storyblok access token. That's going to be this one. And then next we have this each preview, because we need this one here. This one should be yes, because we do want the preview here. And then we are also going to say deploy. The other one, development one, that's technically you only need for the local one, local host. So it's fine, you can omit that, or if you want you can even add that as well. It's all up to you, it's fine. So now although we did everything, technically we have these two website. So the production one, preview one. So let me open each, and then the preview one. So this one building still. So this is our production one. You can see the URL as says production, and this was our data. And we can, if I go to the network and if you do a refresh, here you'd also see the age 17, and then it's showing hit. And if I just refresh it, it's like 25, and then it says hit. So eventually it is going to go to 60, and then it will say it's stale, and then it will revalidate, because like we said that after 60 seconds this data is like you should refresh again. Okay, I think this is working, and this one is done. And here this is the preview one. Here you will see this is always saying, this is always going to say hit, miss. So there is like no edge, so because there is like no caching for the preview one, is going to always miss. And that's that. So how okay, now if I just do a refresh, you will see now it says stale. Now this is going to repage again, and then if you do rebuild, and then you'll see that it's starting from 6 again. So that's the Bharsal thing. It's like you can figure this out on your own, but let's see this is in action. But before that, I think we do have to do few other things as well. So just to make sure, this is for now it's looking bad, it's only saying Astro and Astro and Astro. And let's fix this one and try to, in the visual editor, let's also try to add this preview, the preview one here as well. So we have the option to, or even let's just add it here, and here maybe we can set it dev, and that's going to be this one. It's up. Now here we want this to say, let's say homepage, home Astro plus, let's say plus, because this is like showing nothing, nowhere. And then in the about sections, let's say you wanted to say this about, and then hit save. And here maybe in here we can say it's receiving title because for now you know that we are not using that, but technically we can use that. It's going to be story dot content dot isn't the name is title, I believe. Yeah, and we can receive the props from astro dot props. So, and we can do something like this: title or astro. So let's just do npm run dev here and locally at least see. Okay, it's saying home, and then you can obviously see about. Okay, this thing were working, and sorry, but that made me crazy, and I just wanted to add these two things. But they possibly you can also make a dynamic SEO for all of these pages like this, and that's going to work. Also, one small thing is like you know this also receives another parameter called CV. Yeah, CV parameter. So we also have to modify these as well. So if it's on localhost, technically and in your development, it's always like there is like draft mode, but published version especially if it's is preview. If it's not preview, then it's, if it's preview, then you have to do nothing. Or even in any case, just let's just we can always just say new date and dot to get I think yeah, get milliseconds. I think that's also fine. So by the way, this should be conditional. I mean, you can add it conditional. So what I'm saying, like, don't catch it. I am going to handle the catch. So you don't have to worry about you. Whenever I am asking you, you just give me the raw data. That's your only task. You just give me the raw data, like whatever you have in Storyblok. I know what I'm doing, and I'm going to handle the caching part on my own. So because you know, like on the production, I'm going to go to the like CDN or like Storyblok only once in a minute, right? Like here I set it once in a minute, and if I just set it to, let's say, 600, so every 5 minutes I will go and paste the latest story. So I'm not, if it's not statically generated that I'm going to rebuild and right away I'm going to get the data. So whenever I visit the Storyblok, I want the fresh data, and after that the next 5 minutes I am not going to hit the Storyblok. I know that this page's data is cached. I'm fine with for next 5 minutes. After that I'm going to hit again. So I'm just saying here that you don't have to worry about this. I am going to handle it. So that's why I gave you a weird number. So you don't have to worry about this. I'm going to handle this both on the draft and draft. You always want that, don't want cache data, but production you want cached. But like in this case, I'm going to handle this, right? So let me just make a push. Also, this is going to give you another idea that when you make changes, this is going to reflect on both of the sites, because this is all from the same website. So let's just say meta title added, and I'm going to hit publish. And quickly we can also go in parcel and publishing. It's added, it's in a queue, and then this is going to building mail title added. So I'm just going to wait for a second, and in technically there is like nothing left here, and I'm going to so this should be working everything. By the way, this logic is like not for this use Storyblok. If you are using the old way, the same logic works. It's going to be the same thing. That's also receive the same parameters. This is just because of the live preview, that instant live preview feedback that we get. But if you're using use Storyblok API, that logic also works now. And if you are hearing the dog sound, that's my dog, and somebody probably came to the house, and then he's like, he don't like anybody. Okay, this is done, and then in the preview one, this one is now building. So if I just go to the production one and refresh, you'll see it's going to say home page. And this one, let's just wait. So far nothing, because it's like still building. Yeah, now this one also should say, yeah, home page. So now let's go to this preview website, and what I'm going to do, let's go to the home page, because now we have to see if the changes are working properly or not. So let's just go to the cast and then see the how the, so this one, so it's 0, it's missed now. Now if I refresh again, you'll see, okay, so this is the preview one, sorry. We have to go network docs, yeah, so it's hit 57. So it's going to fetch again in 61, it's still okay. So now it's hit. So now let's say I went here, I don't like this should be in the top, this should be in the bottom. So let's just reorder this. In the preview, this is working. I would hit save, and then hit publish as well. So you'll see, in this is the preview website, because the URL says preview. And if I refresh, right away I'll see that new changes affected. But in the home page, this is the production one. If I refresh now, you'll see this is still showing the old data. That's because like it's only been 34 seconds. If I refresh again, it's 42 seconds, and it still shows me the old data. 49 seconds, it still shows me the old data. 53 seconds, it still shows me the old data. And I am just going to now within next 7 seconds, when this goes and refresh again, then this is going to be changed. So now if I just refresh, you will see that it's 66 seconds. Data is still. Now I just have to refresh once, you'll see the data is changed. Now this is the production data. So that's how the server side caching works. So I set it to 1 minute. So after 1 minute, it's going to go and fetch the data from and then you get the live data. I think this is much better compared to the static building part. That's fine if you have like, I don't know, 10-20 pages, but in theory that's like but what about if you have the like static one? So in that case, you will here it will be in your config, here it will be server. If it's preview, then only add these two lines. So it will be like, it's if it's preview, no, it's not like that. If it's preview, then only add the output as server, and then basically this. So by default, if you don't add anything, and you actually then you will actually not need this. You will just, what you will need actually, you will just have this parcel, that's it. So if you are talking about like if you want a static build and then server side build, so you will have this. If it's only preview, then go the server side mode, otherwise don't do it. So if you don't add the output mode here, by default Astro output as a static mode, right? And that's it. The static mode will be built in. But now what about when you update changes, how do you trigger the build? So all you have to do is like go to the, let's say this is the product preview one, let's go to the production one. You will create here, and let's say I'm just showing you right now. I'm not going to change the code, but here you can see git deploy hook. Let's create a hook called trigger from Storyblok. That's going to the it's going to trigger on I think my branch name is master. So by default main is typically the one, but like because master is also common, so you just see the name where you want to trigger the build, and I'm just going to copy it. By the way, I'm just going to remove this shortly, but here let's say I'm going to do go to settings, create a webhook, trigger build, and the endpoint would be this. And story, whenever story is published or unpublished, deleted or moved, just rebuild the whole site. That's it. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come here and then change this color to this, and then hit save and hit published. Now if I come here, you will see that this one going to trigger a build. Yeah, you can see this one is triggering a build, but the preview one is not triggering a build. Okay, everybody who is going to trigger a build, oh sorry, this was the, yeah, this one preview one is not going to trigger a build. That's because like I created the trigger for the production one. Now what this is going to do, so whenever you publish anything or like update any of the stories, this is going to go and rebuild so eventually if you are using statically, it's going to create all of those pages, and then if you just go here right away, you will see the changes once the build is done. There are going to be no cache or anything, it's going to statically build. But that's the two approaches. It's all fine if you want, but to me, I personally believe like this is not the caching cache behavior is like much better. But yeah, it's up to you. If you want, you can do it like this. All right, everybody, hope this was helpful, and I have pushed these changes to the GitHub, and I'm going to share the code base with you guys. Hope this video was informative, and yeah, happy coding. Thank you. Bye.